You're almost there. Closing day is around the corner, but before you hand those keys over to the buyer, there's a few important do's and don'ts that make or break a smooth closing experience for both you and the buyer. So let's start with the don'ts. Don't schedule the moving truck to come the day of closing. I know it's tempting. I know nobody wants to have their entire house packed up and then something fall apart at the very last minute. But we just recently had a closing that got delayed for several hours because the seller had scheduled the moving truck to come the morning of close, and the buyer's going to be able to do their final walkthrough after he had removed everything. So you don't want to hold up closing because you're not allowing the buyer access to do a final walkthrough. Don't leave the house dirty or full of trash. I can't tell you how many times I have had buyers who were so frustrated because they get to the house after the closing and it's just piled up. Like there's a big old trash pile sitting down by the curb. The house has not been cleaned and it just takes away from their excitement. So don't be that seller who leaves the house dirty. Leave the house the way you would want it to be if you were buying it for the first time. Don't forget to bring your keys, remotes, garage openers to the closing. Buyers want that access when they sign those paperwork. So make sure you're bringing all extra keys, garage remotes, etc. to the closing. Now let's talk about the do's. You do want to make sure you've called your utility providers to let them know that you're selling the house and give them the date of closing. This makes it a lot easier when the buyers call the utility companies to get service transferred rather than having it cut off and then have to reestablish service. Make sure that you bring your driver's license and your wiring instructions to the closing. Any title company is going to need to see a copy of your ID to verify you are who you say you are. So don't forget that. Do leave any manuals, warranties, or documents pertaining to items in the house out on the kitchen counter or somewhere that the buyer will easily see those. So if you just bought a new roof in the past 3-4 years and it had a transferable warranty, make sure you leave that where the buyer can see it and where they know who to contact if they were to have an issue with that roof. And yes, make sure you bring your forwarding address to the closing table. The title company may need to send you something if they have to get a document corrected or re-signed, and you want to make sure that they know how to get in touch with you to send those documents over. The bottom line is you want to be prepared, be respectful, and leave your house the way you would want somebody to leave it for you. Let me know in the comments, what was your nightmare experience when you went through a closing, whether you were a buyer or a seller?